Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This is the original Living in Denver, and we are the Mile High Property Brothers. Today is super fun, informative, a little bit different than what we typically cover, but it's definitely one of the most important topics if you are considering staying in or moving to Denver. But getting right to it, we will be talking about the truth about moving to Denver 2023.
That's right, let's check it out, guys. All right, so jumping right into it, we wanted to put this video together for you guys because we have had a big influx of reach outs lately from people really in a lot of the areas that we're gonna talk about today. There's been another big push to move to Denver, so we wanted to give you guys an updated one, 2023, and really break down from just a native and an honorary native, really just some of the most important things that we feel like you guys need to know before moving here.
Listen, you guys feel like family. You've been following us for a long time. A lot of you purchased homes with us, and we have relationships with you, and it's amazing. I don't know who made him honorary anything. He just said that, like
self-proclaimed.
But he's like insinuating that like I honorary made him a native versus self-proclaimed. So let's just be transparent here. I think you guys, if there's anything you appreciate from me, it's that.
There we go. There we go. Enough of my self-proclaimedness. Let's jump into the points here.
Yes.
Get to it right here quickly for you guys. Number one,
housing market.
The housing market. Yes, yes, and this is completely updated right now. So there's all sorts of talks about crashes and bubbles and all this stuff, right? I think it's safe to assume now, and probably most of you guys realize that interest rates have been high enough for long enough, it hasn't caused a market crash.
Specifically in Colorado as well, right? Like our economy is great here, influx of jobs is great, the different large companies, the tech companies that are moving to Colorado, it's very industry forward, it's very tip of spear. So just indirectly, those large companies, it does affect small business as well, right? We have these large companies coming and people are living here and they're employed, they're spending money on fast food, they're spending money on mom and pop restaurants, they're spending money buying things, going to games, buying tickets for different things. Like Denver Nuggets just won the NBA Finals.
Yep,
That's basketball.
Yep, thank you.
You guys, I'm a big fan of sports. He's a big fan of jiu-jitsu. We'll show you his knee. We'll show you his knee in a second because he's such a big fan of jiu-jitsu. I want to show you.
Thank you for that.
You can only get so good at wrestling, right? Like at some point you're good. A bad guy's not gonna kidnap you. I don't know how much better he has to get at jiu-jitsu, but we're gonna show you the outcome of wanting to get too good at jiu-jitsu. But either way, having a lot of people that are moving to Colorado that are also employed and have these great tech jobs or aerospace jobs, it does bleed into the small business because those people are spending their money here in Colorado. So it's a great thing, which also keeps the housing market really steady. And specific to Colorado, our listings and all of the new builds that are going on in Colorado also have a great healthy amount, even though we're still considered a seller's market based off of inventory.
Yep.
For Colorado, this is a pretty healthy inventory compared to what we've had before. So it's just showing a lot of great signs as far as our overall house economy and markets being healthy and back to being healthy versus like that shakeup we got during COVID. We had 1.5% and 2% interest rates. Just got a little bit rambunctious. We're back to being healthy and stable, and there's plenty to buy, whether it's pre-existing and or new build opportunities that you guys have here. And I'll leave it with this, I say it almost every video, we are not even close to being incorporated when it comes to the surrounding Denver metro area and the opportunities and places you guys have to live that are still within 40 minutes of downtown Denver.
Yes, now not only did our market not crash, but in fact, I think this is one of the best markets we've seen in a long, long time, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. What I love is that right now, a seller has to price their home appropriately, and they have to put a good quality product on the market. 2 years ago, you know, when the COVID boom was happening, you were seeing homes that were just, not ready to be sold, and they were still getting multiple offers, which may seem good if you're a seller, but then when you're going to buy and you're having to offer $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 over asking price, that's not healthy to me.
And you weren't even necessarily happy with the home, depending on who you were having work with you as far as like representing you as far as real estate and the offers that you were submitting, but you were kind of just getting in where you were fitting in because everybody was buying homes at the 2%. So that's what you're giving up. You have a great rate, but you're giving up the opportunity to just see a certain number of homes and make a calculated decision versus just grabbing the one that's accepting your offer. Now, with this market, you have homes that are prepared, like you say, but you also have the time to go look and have options as a buyer in making the right decision for you and your family, which means you're minimizing the buyer's remorse that you would have. Rates are a little bit higher, but you can also get a 2-1 buy down. You can do a traditional buy down, and or you can refi in the next couple of years as rates continue to come back down.
to talk specifics, homes in Denver on average are going under contract within just about 8 days. But here's the best part. Like, you still have to move kind of fast. But the best part is that they're going on average for listing price.
Right.
Meaning there's not bidding wars. At most, you're maybe having to compete on a good home, 3 to 5 other offers. So it's not getting crazy. And this is what I mean when I say stable, because buyers are getting offers accepted without having to waive anything or have all cash offers. And homes are still going under contract fairly quickly.
And you've got enough buyers in the market that are keeping things healthy. So as sellers sell their home, they're not having to go significantly under asking price to just get it done. That's why we call it so healthy, because the homes are actually priced appropriate and prepared appropriate, and they are prepared to make adequate changes or updates or fixes to the home for what buyer needs within realm and reason of a contract. And speaking of multiple offers or you guys winning, I'm going to sneak this in right here and then just remind you, right, that we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado. And just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help with those real estate needs.
Yep.
The number that's popping up below, we are the guys who transfer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So whether it's you guys remaining in Colorado and moving, or if you guys are moving to and wanting to live in Colorado, either way, we are your original relocation living in Denver team. We love doing that. For something we can do to help you, we would love to.
That's right. Take a screenshot of that number on your phone right now and hit us up. Now, point number 2, Colorado is not a politically charged state.
Right.
Okay. Now, technically, yes, we're a Democratic
comparatively
state.
or subjectively to other states. I can already hear it now, and everyone wants Boulder or whatever. Like, got it, get it. We're all humans to an extent here, right? Like, not all of us are all human, but we're all human. So we're talking subjectively to not only our clients' experiences, but our personal experiences and just some data, right? So subjectively to, or comparatively to other states across the country, Colorado is one of your least politically motivated states, especially when it comes to like being motivated about going out and causing trouble.
Yes. Now, one thing that I love about our state here is that, you know, we have people from all sides of the spectrum, but if there's one commonality, it's that everyone just kind of lets the other person do their thing here. Right. And what I love about that and is the data that shows that. You know, we saw this during COVID and we still continue to see that. Even looking at just last quarter, our top inbound migration movers came from Miami, New York, Boston, San Francisco. Yeah, so what we found is that people are coming from politically charged cities to find kind of this little utopia of Denver.
And guys, they're families, they're young professionals, they're middle-aged professionals, like all walks of life. And something I want you to consider when we talk to you about some of these places where people are moving from. You hear all the jokes about somebody moving, all Californians are coming to Colorado.
Don't California,
keep California, don't California my Colorado. They're moving here for a reason, right? So when it comes to the type of person you're stereotyping, not only is, okay, it's funny and lighthearted, but it's inaccurate, because the people that are moving here, they're moving here for a reason. So clearly they disagree with what's going on in their state just as much as you probably disagree with it, which is why they're wanting to come over here. They're not just coming over here for riots or something weird. They're moving their families here. They've got their careers here. So believe it or not, if you're watching this and you're curious, we've had phenomenal folks from all across the country that are here. And personally, I love it because it helps keep our state diverse in all aspects, which ultimately makes everything better across the state.
Yeah, and I love it too because they're coming here because there's so much opportunity in Colorado, right? Like, we're not the cheapest state, but we're also very, very affordable compared to some of these other places. And when you look at the overall picture of our weather, the school districts, the activities that you can do out here, the future growth potential of Denver, it really is kind of a no-brainer for a lot of people that are looking to come out here.
Correct. School districts are high. We have a very high-graded state when it comes to across the country when it comes to education. As far as price points, I say this in a lot of videos as well. We are 30% more expensive than
the national
average, but we're 30% less expensive than Southern California. So go figure, do your numbers, but we fit right there, probably just above half, not above half, but right in between those two numbers. Definitely reasonable, bang for buck with everything that you get when it comes to Colorado.
Now, we touched on schools just a second ago. Let's elaborate on that a little bit more. Colorado is one of the places where it's almost hard to find a bad school district. Like, it
and
really
by bad,
is.
we're referencing websites that give
correct.
school grades, not just our opinions.
Yep, exactly. And when you look at the Denver metro area as a whole, you know, pretty much the entire Denver metro area is on the top 5 list of the best school districts that are around
Cherry
here.
Creek School District,
Littleton,
Boulder, Douglas County, Boulder, Jefferson County.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff, and it pretty much covers anywhere from 3 o'clock on the clock, if Denver were in the center, all the way around to like 9 or 10 o'clock. Pretty much all of that have great grade A school grades for public schools.
Yeah, and that's a very important decision for a lot of people moving out here because a lot of the clients that we help, they're coming from very cool cities, but they're so unhappy with the schools. And once they come out here and they start searching, you're looking at the public school options, which are great. You're looking at the charter school options, which are great. You're looking at the private school options, which are great. So there's just so much, again, more opportunity out here for your children and families that are looking for a place where it's like, man, we can just have a home, find some peace, do some fun stuff, connect with other really nice people.
Speaking of Denver Metro, in addition to schools, let's talk Denver Metro versus Mountain.
Yep.
Right?
So we get a lot of people that are coming out here, and one of the things with Colorado is that there's so many options of places to live. That can be a good thing for people. It can also make it kind of hard to dial in a location. But one thing we want to point out is the Denver metro area versus as soon as you get into the foothills or the mountains. Because if you're looking at the Denver metro area, a lot of people might think you're like living in Aspen or something and you're in the mountains, right? It very much is like any other city. Yes, you have beautiful views of the mountains, but it's not mountainy at all. It's very suburban and typical and flat and concrete and buildings and stuff, right? But then the second you get into the foothills, if you're going to a place like Evergreen or something, which is only about 25 minutes into the mountains, you're not even that far into it, maybe even 15. It goes 0 to 100 real fast in terms of the type of lifestyle you're gonna have living there versus Denver.
Even I-70 West, as you're hitting the foothills before you even get to like Lookout Mountain.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking 15 minutes west of Denver, it really starts to pick up and become mountains. And if you guys are looking at like a topographical map right now, which I'm sure you are because Eli is awesome at that, you guys can see how close the Denver metro area actually is when we start zooming in and showing you guys the Denver metro area compared to where elevation and the mountains start.
Oh yeah, and when we say change of lifestyle, it means, hey, the snow is gonna stick around a lot longer.
And the west.
Yep, and the west side, yep. If you're a second into the mountains, the snow's gonna stay around a lot longer. You're gonna need a snow blower or a four-wheeler with a snow plow on it, because you probably have a long driveway that you're gonna need to clear. And you're gonna get a lot more of the snow just in general.
And people love it. Folks that live up there that enjoy it, they like hopping on their little four-wheeler or their ATV and plowing. And as long as you've got the resources yourself or the resources in that neighborhood, if you guys are living up in the mountains, it's great. Like, it's still plenty doable. Infrastructure when it comes to cities, taking care of public roads and highways and byways, phenomenal. One of the best states that has it, and even when we get a foot or plus of snow, roads for the most part are still clear and are good year round. You might get 1 or 2 snowstorms a year that kind of shut a road down or two. I-70 West, I like the Eisenhower Tunnel, once or twice a year. And that's, guys, that's in the middle of the mountains at the highest elevation you guys can think of. Every once in a while, that'll shut maybe once or twice per year. And then you've got some things down south as you're going from Castle Rock to the Springs. The elevation changes down a lot, and sometimes it gets a little icy and they close it. But for the most part, out of a couple of times, everything stays open regardless of how much snow that we get, which means the snow's not going to affect your guys' recreational, professional, casual, personal life as far as everything that you guys want to enjoy year-round in Colorado.
Now, on the topic of weather, let's keep going with that. It's important you guys are watching this updated video because the weather this year needs to be updated from last year, okay?
We had a real winter.
We had a real winter.
But we still had more sunny days in Florida, San Francisco, LA, Boston, Chicago. We still had more sunny days. So don't get weird.
But it was cold, and the snow stuck around a little bit.
And we had the snow, I don't know if it stuck around longer, but what we did have was a couple more snowstorms. And we got snow a little bit sooner this year, like we normally should. Like I remember in the 80s we would. Early winter, we got great snowstorms, but we had a little bit more of a mild spring. Last spring, we had like 5 snowstorms every other week, back to back to back for about a month and a half, and they were heavy and wet, and they were breaking trees. This year, a little bit drier
as far as snow goes. As far as snow goes,
But the beginning of winter was definitely more heavy, but it's like the colder time of year. So that's why it stayed around a little bit, because the snow stayed cold. So it stayed around a little bit longer versus if we get heavy winters toward the spring, well, by then it's already starting to warm up so much, the roads will melt it, or just the sun coming out melts it. So it did stay longer, I think, because it was more in the beginning of the winter.
Now, what happened carrying over to the spring is we had the wettest spring we've
had.
It was amazing. Normally our springs are like a month long, and then it gets hot, and it feels like dry summer.
We had a full rain season. It almost rained every day for a month.
It still is going.
It was great.
Like typically,
and it gets so green out here.
It'll rain every couple of weeks, typically, like not a ton. And Colorado in the summertime does usually look pretty dry, like outside of your lawns and stuff that are getting watered.
Green, flowers are bloomed, grass is green.
Amazing. It's amazing.
So when he means dry, he doesn't mean dead dry. He just means dry as we don't get much rain, but everything is green during the spring and summer. Oh yeah.
Natural places.
Oh yeah. Like pine trees?
No, pine trees are always green.
Where are you going? Like a gutter?
Fields and stuff. Like
this is why we defer to the native.
We're not talking
not this No, we're talking this. We're talking this. You got a self-proclaimed jiu-jitsu Colorado native expert.
It gets a little dry typically. I'll just say that. It gets a little dry typically. This year, amazing. Nice and green. Looks beautiful.
It's green. It's beautiful. Listen, let's just show some B-roll. Here you go.
Now, with this wet spring that we've had, it has brought a ton of hail. Now, typically, you're gonna have a couple major hailstorms in the springtime, right? Mm-hmm. Usually not a big deal. In the 20-something years I've lived here, I not once have had to get hail repair on my vehicle, and
Correct.
We drive all the time. This is the first year I've actually had to get hail repair.
We had one storm out here this year that was pretty heavy. The other ones were like moderate hail, but still hail. You still gotta be careful. But there was one that just came through that had like just larger size hail projectiles.
There you go.
Like
hail balls.
Whatever we call them. It was pretty bad. They were pretty large and it hurt some stuff. The other ones, like I say, were pretty mighty, but still definitely a little bit more often this year than we've had before.
Yeah. Now, the good thing about this, typically in my opinion, is that when it comes to like roof, right? People are always concerned about hail damage and stuff like that. The good thing about getting hail damage on your roof is you get a new roof, right? Like you will not go the 30-year warranty of your roof without getting a hailstorm. Good enough to at least get it replaced. So as a bonus, typically every 2 to 5 years or something, call it maybe every 5 years or so, you can get a roof just for the cost of your deductible.
Correct.
One of the pros of living in Colorado. But again, make sure you've got a garage or somewhere to tuck the car away just in case it is how this year was this year again.
There you guys have it. That's what we have to offer today. In addition to this number that's popping back up below, and us reminding you that yes, we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado. And yes, just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs.
That's right.
The number that's still up below. We are the guys to answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. Give us a shout. Take a screenshot of this. Save it for yourself. Throw us a call on your way to work, whatever it is. And throw some comments below whether you agree with my opinion or this guy's opinion. And before we leave, if you stayed this long, If you stayed this long.
Oh gosh. He did it. Help.
Hey,
me.
listen.
Help if you're watching this.
That's incrimination. That's incrimination. Hey, jiu-jitsu. See you guys. Have a great week.
Appreciate
we'll see you guys very soon.
See ya.